Hey friends, it's WillMcGlennJr. It is Wednesday, March the 4th, 2026, and it's time for another edition of Will on a Wednesday. So I hope you are feeling good today. Here in Concord, it's really sunny out. I think it's going to get up into the 70s. So I'm happy about that because I am not a cold weather person. Really feeling good today because we had an event last night. My wife, as you guys may know, and to those who don't know, my wife, Kelly McGlenn, is a awesome singer, songwriter, and musician. And we have a band together. And we did an event that we do every year for a local ladies, a women's empowerment group that helps ladies that are transitioning from battered, abused situations to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. And, it was really well put together. Our band got together. We hadn't been together for a while, so that felt good. And then my wife ministered to the ladies as well after we ministered in song. And so we had a really good time. It was a great time last night. Shout out to Debbie Garcia, who is the director, for inviting us. I know she just got married, and I'm not sure what her married name is now. So I'm just going to go with Debbie Garcia because that's what I've always known her as. But thanks for inviting us, Debbie. We appreciate it. We love what you guys are doing with your organization, and we're glad to be able to come alongside you and help out. And then my wife and I also got to interview one of a couple that has been our mentors for quite a long time for our channel, Marriage with the McGlenns. If you guys aren't subscribed to that, please take a minute after this video and go check it out. I should have the link below. I'll try to remember to do that. But we got an opportunity to interview them, and Bruce and Gail Franklin. Bruce had been on hiatus for the past few years because the Lord had him, he told him to shut it down for a while, and the Lord finally released him to start doing ministry again, and we were his first interview, so that was exciting. We got to see their new home, hang out with them, and eat dinner. It was a great time, so I'm really feeling good. Other thing is, I've been doing my workouts. I've been keeping my word to myself. That's one of the things I talked about at the beginning of the year, is being how important it is to be a person of your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And like I said, I'm going to do this video, Will on Wednesday, every Wednesday that I have an opportunity. I think I missed one because I got my days mixed up. So that was my bad. And because we were out of town, and we were out until we didn't come back till Monday, and then my whole week was totally messed up after that. I couldn't remember what day it was, so that's my bad. But I'll try in the future not to let that happen again. I'm going to have to set an alarm or something. But like I said, one of my other goals was to get back into shape. And it's funny because I've been consistent with my workouts, and my wife has been working out. She has an online trainer. She's been getting great success. I'm not really found a online trainer that I can really lock in with, because I'm the type of person, and it's kind of crazy because I'm doing the video, but I don't like people watching me when I'm working out. I don't see how people do those workout videos and training videos at the gym where, everybody's watching them work out, because I feel like I'm looking kind of awkward when I'm working out. So, it's just another hurdle I guess I have to get over, but it is what it is. We all have areas that we have to grow in, but I have been consistent in my workouts, and I'm starting to not see a whole lot, because I have a certain look that I want to get to, or a certain physique that I want to get to, and I'm starting to see some little changes, but everybody wants to see the big changes. They want the guns, they want the shoulders, they want the whole nine. to pop off right as soon as they start exercising. But I told myself I wasn't going to measure my progress by that for a while, because I know it takes a while for your body to respond to what you're doing. And so I'm not even, I had to take a whole different approach, because before, when I would start working out, I'd set out all these plans. This is what I'm gonna do this day, this blah, blah, blah. And I get in there and go hard the first couple of days and wear myself out or injure myself. And then by the time I took a little rest for my body to recoup, and then by the time the injury was healed or whatever, I didn't have the motivation to do it anymore. Or I would set out a whole schedule of what I'm going to do this week and, that next week. And I just didn't. I mean, I got to the point where I was like, I don't feel like doing that right now, blah, blah, blah. So what I do now, and I found that is really helpful, is just going day by day. Every day I made a promise to myself, I'm going to get up and I'm going to work out. Only day I don't do it is Sunday, because that's my Sabbath. I rest. I give my body a rest, time to recuperate. But every day I've made a commitment that I'm going to train. So yesterday morning came and I was a little worn out, because I had a really busy ministry music weekend this past weekend. So I took Monday off as far as not working, but I still did my a workout on Monday. But yesterday I was like real like sluggish. And so I woke up yesterday morning, saw my wife off to work, and I started getting ready for work. And so something happened, and I was getting dressed, and I was like, well, it's too late for me to stop to work out now. And so I was like, I'll get back in there tomorrow. But in the back of my mind, I kept hearing, you got to keep your word to yourself. You got to do something. You got to, you got to move. You got to do that workout. If you don't do the whole workout, at least do half of it, or, do something. And so I was like, I got to get, I kept looking at my watch. I got to get out of here. I got to get to work. Time is money. That whole lie right there. And I'm going to talk about that eventually, the whole time is money thing, but not today. But so I was getting ready to put my shoes on, and I turn on. We leave worship music on in our home all day when we're not here, to keep the atmosphere pure. And so I did that, and I was sitting down, getting ready to put my shoes on, and I just happened to turn my phone on to Facebook just to see, to post our morning prayer from Marriage with the McGlenns. And so after I posted it, this reel pops up of this guy, and then I think the subtitle or the heading on it was 63-year-old blah blah blah. And this dude was 63 years old, benching 325, I think it was 325 pounds for reps. And so I was like, okay, something was saying, that you get, they had those pictures where the devil's on one shoulder and the angel's on the other shoulder trying to convince you to do stuff. So I kind of felt that kind of scenario going, because I felt something saying, "No, you better not watch that, because that's going to, you don't need to watch that, blah, blah, blah." And then I heard something, which was, I believe was the Holy Spirit, say, "Watch the video." So I pushed play, and this dude, the dude looked like he was at least, he was swole. He looked like he was at least maybe in his 30s, mid 30s, maybe 40s. Dude was 63 years old, in the gym. He said he only goes, I think he said 3 times a week, but dude looked incredible for 63. And so he said, I do, when I go in there, I go hard. I only do 3 days a week. He said, not many people, and the guy interviewing him was like, well, not many people can bench 325. He was like, you're right, but at 63, he's doing it. And so I was convicted, man. I was like, shh. I said, let me change these clothes back, get in here and do this workout. So I went in, I did a workout. I didn't do a whole full one because of time, but I did do part of my program. And, I felt good afterwards, because I've read and I've heard, the only workout that you really regret is the one that you didn't do. So I did it. I got in there and did it. I did mine this morning. And I'm going to do it every day except for Sundays. And because at my age and my birthday is coming up soon, I got a birthday coming up March 19th. So any of y'all that want to, help your boy celebrate, I'm going to leave that Cash App link down there. And then, you know what to do if you feel led. If not, ain't no pressure. I just like to give you opportunity. But so I got a birthday coming up soon. I'll let you know what my age is once I get there. A lot of people already know. But I want to be in the best shape of my life this year than I've ever been. I used to ride bikes, back when I was growing up. When we got home from school, we were outside all day, and on Saturdays and Sundays after church, we were outside doing stuff, like physical stuff all day. We were, we didn't sit in front of our phones, or we didn't have phones back then, but we were active. And I really want to get back to that, because I don't want to be one. And when I'm out working, I'm out in the city a lot, and I see people that I assume that are close to my age, and some that are younger, and they look like, they're walking bent over, and not to say, not to shame anybody, but they're slightly overweight, when I know that I presume that they could be in a different shape. I'll put it that way. And I know what I want for myself, and that's not it. I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to be dragging around when I'm in my 60s and 70s. I mean, I want to be like the guy that's lifting 325 at 63 years old. So that's my goal. When I get to 63, I'm going to be hitting 325, on the bench, so I got to start now. You don't just go into the gym and just start lifting 325 on the bench from day one. You got to start somewhere. So I've made it my choice to start now and work my way up to that. So that's where I'm at right now. I want to talk to you, really. I guess this whole talk is about keeping your word, and not only to other people, but keeping your word to yourself. Because if you can't keep your word to yourself, it's going to be really hard to keep your word to other people. Another thing that another goal that I've set for myself, I guess, to do daily, is to make sure I pick up my instrument, my bass guitar, and play something on it every day, because I want to get better. And I'm going to get better. Another goal is to learn Spanish. And I started with the Spanish app, and I was doing really good. And then, so it was like a 5-day free trial, to try it out. And I really liked it, because it was better than the other app that I had tried a couple of years ago that starts with a B. I'm not going to give them any promotion. And I may give this other one promotion once I start it. But after the 5-day trial, they hit me with this subscription fee, and they wanted it all. How some subscriptions you can pay for month by month. This one, they wanted a lump sum, all at once. So I was like, I didn't have it at the time, so I'm gonna just go back and get it once I have that lump sum. Because I think I was doing really well, making some progress, because it was more interactive. And I really want to learn how to speak Spanish, because I really want to be able to minister to people, in other countries that I believe God is going to send us to. I have a friend that at our church, he has a ministry where he goes to Mexico a lot to help, people build their churches down there. And then we have some friends that are missionaries in South America. I think it's El Salvador. And I want to be able to, go through those places and be effective, and not have to wait for somebody to translate for me, or even just here in America. I don't want to have to be reliant on somebody to translate for me if the opportunity comes to to help somebody, as far as spiritually. Um, so that's one of my other goals. Another goal I have is to learn how to play piano, and that one I'm just looking for a good piano teacher in the area, because you have to have the right fit when you're learning music, or it's not going to work. So that's my three of my goals that I'm working on today. My wife and I are actively looking for some land to build a house. So I make sure I do that something towards that goal every day. What I'm trying to say is, long story short, is once you make some goals, make a plan on how to achieve it, and make sure you stick to that plan. Do something every day with that plan to get you towards that goal. I just mentioned earlier about our not Facebook, our YouTube channel, Marriage with the McGlenns. I hope you guys, whether you're married or not, go check it out. Because, and what I always say at the end of the video, you don't know, even if you don't need it, you don't know somebody that you come in contact with, one of your friends or family members, may need some strong biblical marriage advice. And that's what we give. We only talk about biblical marriage because that's all we know. We don't know any alternative types of marriage, so we talk about what we know. If somebody else wants to talk about another type of marriage, that's on them. But we talk about what we know, and we give you the word of God. So Marriage with the McGlenns, the link will be in the bio or in the description below. So like I said, that's one of our other goals and one of the goals there when we started out in January was to do a prayer video, a short prayer video every day of the month of January. And so we accomplished that. And when the end of January came, I was planning on stopping. My wife was like, well, we might as well just keep going, because why not? So I'm like, okay, why not? Let's keep going. So we've been doing a prayer, marriage prayer every day. Like I said, if you need prayer for your marriage, that's a good place to go, because that's our agenda. We want to see strong marriages. Just like me individually, I want to see people achieve their goals in life and walk out the purpose that God has put them here for. So that's why I'm doing this really, Will on Wednesdays, because I'm an encourager and an exhorter, I guess, for lack of a better term. I like to encourage people to pursue their goals as long as their goals are legal. And so that's what I do. I mean, you can ask anybody that knows me. If they tell me they got a goal and they want to do something, I'm the first one to say, man, go for it. I'm in your corner as long as it's legal. But that's just what I am. That's my makeup. I've always been that way. I like to see people pursuing their goals, and I like to see people achieving their goals. I like to try to help people make progress towards achieving their goals. And I'll be that way till the day I die. So, that's pretty much what I'm here for. That's what I'm all about. And, my wife, I think I get on her nerves because that girl, man, that woman, I'll change that. That woman is full of talent, just raw talent and ability. And then when you add the anointing of God on top of it, oh my God. I mean, sometimes I just sit at her and she looks good. I'm going to put a picture of her right there so you can see. But she looks really good. And especially, both of us, I guess, for our age, that's what we're always told. But I just, I look at her on a daily basis and see the potential that she has. And she does the same thing to me. And I try to I push her towards achieving her goals, to getting to the next level, and to being everything that God has called her to be. I don't try to hold her back. Just like last night, she delivered a word. And I was sitting there like, if I wasn't holding the camera, I'd have been, up yelling and going on, because the word that she brought forth was life changing. And, as men, I think if you're married, or if you're engaged, even if you have a girlfriend, and if it's somebody that's worth spending your time with, I think they're worth encouraging in their goals. That's me myself, you know. And ladies, if some ladies watching this, if you got a guy that you're spending time with and he's pursuing something legit and he's trying to do better, encourage that man, have his back and watch what that does to his I guess ego. Well, not ego. Well, ego is not even a bad word, because if you look up the definition of ego, it's not a bad word. Inflated ego would be a bad thing, but just your ego itself, not a bad thing, you know. Um, but you never know, ladies, what that does for a man to have to know that his wife or girlfriend or wife is backing him up if he's trying to do something legit. So that's what I do as far as with my wife, with my friends. I'm here to help them, to encourage them, to push them forward, to let them know that somebody's in their corner if they have a goal that they're trying to achieve. So that's pretty much my, I guess my purpose for being here. One of my purposes for being here on this planet is to do that, and that's what I plan to do. So I know I've been on here a minute. I've been babbling, but I get excited when I start talking about stuff like that. So y'all have to bear with me. But next week, I'm going to be back. We're going to talk about some things that I'm really getting ready to launch. That's going to be, I guess, well, no, not I guess. I know it's going to be beneficial to independent musicians, artists, entrepreneurs, that type of thing. So stay tuned, and we'll talk about that real soon. My name is WillMcGlennJr. This is Will on Wednesday. I appreciate you sitting there hanging out with me. Hope to see you next week. Have a great rest of your week.